Welcome back to the Blood Bear channel. Today we'll be talking about the manga series by Negi Haruba called Go Go Loser Ranger. It is very interesting to me, at least. And apparently, so this is like a basically the manga is about it's like 13 years ago. I mean, it's Loser Rangers, so if you're an American, it's like Power Rangers, pretty much. And so basically, like 13 years ago, from when their story begins, their alien monsters take their ship and, wreak havoc on humanity for like a couple years, I think. And then the Ranger, I think they're called like the Divine Dragon Keepers or whatever. They're known as Dragon Keepers, and I think they're called Divine Dragon. They're called Divine Dragon Keepers or Divine Dragon Rangers, one of the two. And then so they come in, and then so they have the main character in this series is like one of the goons. It's like one of the like clay guys from like the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, or like one of those like goon characters that are fairly easy to beat. Except these goons are immortal. They could still feel pain and stuff, but if they get like killed in battle, they kind of just disintegrate and then reform in the sky castle that they have. And then unless it's like a specific type of weapon, so the Dragon Keepers have like divine like artifacts as like their weapons, and those are actually able to kill the fighters is what they're called. So and then there's I will be getting into spoilers, but right now I'm just giving a synopsis. So then the Rangers form a team, and they win, basically. This is all backstory, so it's not really that important. And then you have like so then they kind of enslave the fighters, like the goons that are left, and so the fighters also have a transforming ability, so they can shapeshift and stuff. So they basically enslaved the surviving fighters in the castle. So then every Sunday they have like one of the fighters transforms, and they have like this like show that they put on for the citizens, right? So it's like an actual Power Rangers like show or like Super Sentai, because it's Japan, and that's what Power Rangers is. And they have they have those, but like the rest of the world doesn't know that the monsters are actually basically in on it. I mean, they have to be, otherwise that they would be killed or something along those lines, or something like that. And basically, now we're starting to get into some spoiler territory, because what I thought is like there were like these three bosses, the three leaders of the monster group, and then the Rangers came in and killed them all. We later find out that is not the case, and that there's actually enough monsters, each representing like the Chinese zodiac or something, and they've killed 7, which leaves 5 left. Although the main character, Fighter D, he said that he knows at least 2 that have died, and he doesn't know if they know it, but then they say that they killed at least 7 are dead. And the character that says this also lists it, like which ones are alive and which ones are dead. But I'm not sure if like Fighter D never says that, oh, those two that I know are dead or were on that list. He never says that. So it could be that they are on the list, or it could be that they're not, they weren't on the list. So then there's actually 9 that are dead and 3 left, or there are, the 7 dead and there's 5 boss monsters left. But all the fighters up in the Sky Castle think that all the bosses are dead, but apparently they're not. They're still alive and kicking, and they just abandoned all the, because like the fighters were created by the boss monsters, and now they've basically just been abandoned. So, and like in the beginning, Fighter D's motive is the same motive that they had when they first came to Earth, and that's to conquer the world, right? So that's his starting motive, but then he meets some humans, and it kind of seems like he might be changing. Right now he's just fighting like whoever. He doesn't like the humans because of what they've been doing to them, basically killing them over and over and over again. And he doesn't like, now that he knows that the bosses are still alive, he doesn't really like them because they abandoned the fighters and the fight, basically. So really he's kind of on nobody's side, except for there's one guy called named Sakurama, I think is what his name is. And for the longest time, Fighter D took his place in one of the volumes, and he's still taking Sakurama's place because Sakurama had to go off and do something else. And basically Sakurama wants to make a like peace between humans and monsters. And then there's another character, I don't remember her name, but she's part of like the Yellow Ranger Squadron, and I think she's on the side of the monsters, so she might be working for one of the boss monsters or somebody. I don't really know, but she wants to get all the divine artifacts, basically, for some reason. I'm not sure why yet, because I've only read the first 7 volumes, and it's an ongoing series. I do have other ones, though, that I just bought, but I haven't read them yet. So yeah, and then that's basically the plot so far. And let's get into some of the things that I like about it. First of all, I really like the concept. The concept is really cool, and the art is also pretty darn good. So, and then like there are some parts of the story that are kind of like confusing as to what's going on, like with how I mentioned the monster being representing the Chinese zodiac, and then 7 being dead, but we never get confirmation on whether the 2 that Fighter D mentioned that he knows that are dead are on that list or not. We never get that confirmation. And then obviously I suggest reading it for yourself, but all the fight scenes are pretty cool too. Those are pretty nice. And I'm very interested in seeing to where it goes, because where I am, I'm on volume 8, and he like kind of just joined one of the Ranger squads, so he's kind of on his first mission right now, going up against a boss monster. So I'm really not that far in. I don't think I'm that far into it, because right now it seems like Fighter D wants to kill all the boss monsters and all the rangers, or at least the head rangers, so like the ones that actually have and use the divine artifacts. And one of the rangers, I've said spoilers, fine. And I think volume 6, I think, the blue ranger dies. He gets killed. Not by D. D was not going to kill him. it seemed. I don't think he was, anyways. But then the boss monster that was kind of losing at the time came back and killed him and then left. So, yeah. Some of the things that I don't like, there aren't many things I don't really that I don't enjoy about it, but I just cannot remember the character names at all. I cannot. I know Sakurama. I know Fighter D, because that's pretty easy. And then there's another fighter called Fighter XX, and they're basically just fighter and then letter, so those are pretty easy to remember. And then I know one of the boss monsters' names is Peltrola, I think. And that's all the characters that I know. I do not remember the rest of their names. Oh, no, there is another character that I do remember. I think his name is Shion. It's like Shion. But other than that, that's all I remember. So, because, I mean, I don't remember their names. And it sucks, but I don't remember them. I mean, I know what they look like, but I don't remember their names. But yeah. And then another thing that I find very interesting is that apparently this mangaka also did the quintessential quintuplets, which, if you know what that is, it's completely different to what he's doing right now. This is like a very action-heavy fighting book. Quintessential quintuplets is a romance story between a tutor and a pair of quintuplets. And I liked that work of his as well. I think it didn't end. I mean, he gets the final say because it's his story, but I didn't really care for the ending of the quintessential quintuplets. But so far, I've been very much enjoying the Go-Go Loser Ranger. So there's that. That's pretty much all I want to talk about on this, though. So if any of that sounded interesting to you, then by all means, go get Go-Go Loser Ranger by Negi Haruba.